Christian, what do you think of The Witness?
What do I think of The Witness?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good puzzle game.
Okay. Like Tetris.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Is Tetris considered a puzzle game? I feel like you aren't solving puzzles so
You're
much as
making a puzzle.
you're making stuff fit together. I guess that is the definition of a puzzle. Never mind.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's a jigsawler.
Yeah, there you
So The Witness
go. Mm-hmm.
by John Blow.
Yeah.
So let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
In The Witness,
Mm-hmm.
you start out in a tunnel.
Yep.
And what I didn't realize at the very beginning is the tunnel is is like a maze.
Yep.
But you don't realize that till the end
Yeah.
because the lights are off.
Yep.
But anyway, and then you walk up to the wall and there's this door, and on the door is a line with a dot at one end
Mm-hmm.
and nothing at the other.
Yep.
And you just kind of go up to it and you go boop, and then it lights up and you go and then it goes and then the door opens.
Yep.
And then you go to another one and it's an L shape. And
And
it's like
then-
John Blow is teaching
Yeah.
you video games
Yeah, just like
as you play.
just like everyone says, good game design, Super Meat Boy, the first level is just a jump, and then the next level you need to learn how to run.
Mega Man, Mega Man.
Yep,
And then
there you
so
go.
on. And then you kind of get into this courtyard,
Yep.
I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 mazes as we think of mazes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a start and you just have to go, and sometimes there's a dead end,
Yep.
and you go to the end,
And then you're done.
and then you're done.
And then big beams of light come out of the tubes.
Yep. They go bzzz, and it feels really, really good.
Yeah.
And then once you
Disgusting.
do that, whatever. And then if you do that enough, if you do that 3 times, then this giant door opens.
Mm-hmm.
This like light gate, this laser gate.
Yep.
And then you're kind of in it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of go do whatever you want.
Yep.
As long as what you want to do is solve
Mazes.
mazes.
Yeah. And right away, I think the game sets itself up really well, where just the mechanics feel all really. It's like all really clicky and really, really satisfying to do everything, because like
Yeah.
you hit the button and it goes like boom, and then
It's true.
you get to the end of the maze and then it gives you that click, and
Like,
yeah, and then the whole world is like all really static. So whenever you finish a maze, there's always like some movement and stuff going on whenever you finish one. Like
Yeah.
even if it's just a door opening, it just feels so satisfying because
yeah.
nothing else is moving, and then you just have this door opening that you just did that, man. You solved the maze, you made the door move.
I did it. That was me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you want to talk about all the areas?
It's up to you, man. I don't know if I ran into all of them. I think I got into the majority of them.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind just touching on all of
Okay,
them, 'cause
sure.
I think so the first one that I did,
Yep.
well, I think the first one, based on the trophy percentages, the one that most people seem to do first is Symmetry,
Okay.
which is the yellow and blue. But I don't think I did that one first. I think I did.
Oh, that's really interesting. Symmetry was the one that most people did first.
Or that's the one that most people finish
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That one is off a little ways off the
Yeah.
beginning there. So that's a little interesting.
Well, the first thing it does right off the bat is or not right off the bat, but if you explore just a little bit, you come to lines of puzzles
Yep.
where they very slowly introduce the concepts of a specific, basically, symbol.
Yeah.
And it's never, and this is one of, the game's biggest strengths, is it never tells you explicitly what anything does.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, but it's set up in such a way that by solving these puzzles, which are very simple to start off with, you very naturally understand
Yeah, totally.
what you need to
So like at the beginning you have like the black and white boxes. So at first it's such a small maze that by just
Yeah.
trial and error you're going to get the correct answer, and you're
Right.
probably not going to know why. And as you move on, you use the previous puzzles that you solved to kind of apply to the current ones. And it happened to me plenty of times where it didn't get till towards the end of the tutorial puzzles where
You're like,
it actually clicked with me and I
oh,
understood what I was actually trying to do. Like the black and white boxes, that didn't really click with me until like the second
yeah.
to last or the last one. I thought I had it at first, and then I was like, wait, no, that doesn't work.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh no.
So here to counter, like I agree with you, but the quarry, I
Okay.
felt like I didn't understand that concept until way too far into that area
Okay.
where like I should not have been able to solve those puzzles because I did not understand at all
Really?
the symbol. And I understand the symbol now.
Yeah.
And obviously you would need to make it much farther than that because they start showing that symbol other places
Yeah.
and if you didn't know what that symbol did, it would be like impossible.
Yeah.
And once you figure out what that symbol does, that's a really cool area, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. That symbol
Um
wasn't so much a sticking point for me, I guess, as it was for you.
I guess the way I was looking at the puzzles, it wasn't immediately obvious to me what it
Okay.
was doing
Yeah.
within those puzzles.
Well, I mean, like right away, you like walk up to this ramp, and then you're like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? And then,
Right.
like,
But
it
I
is a little
thought
weird how it handles it. How it's like,
yeah,
oh, you failed. Oh, no, wait, you didn't fail. That is a little
right.
weird how it handles it that way.
I didn't get that at all. And I thought cuz okay, so basically it's got a ramp and it's got a dot and a dot.
Yeah.
And if you go one way, you're supposed to get the dots is
Yeah.
the idea. That's what you've been taught other places.
Yep.
So I thought you had to like leave a dot
Hmm.
with it. And that's kind of what you need to do.
Yeah.
But that's not really what that symbol is doing
Yeah.
within the context of the puzzle.
Hmm.
So it was confusing to me, but I got it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Was that one of the last areas you did?
Yes.
Did you finish it?
Yes.
You did? Oh, awesome.
Yes. I liked the stuff in the little lumber mill
Lumber
better.
Mill, yeah, that was pretty cool with the shadows.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. Like the
Oh, dude,
dojo.
the shady trees.
Yep.
That was one of my favorites.
Shady
We should
trees.
talk about shady trees because I thought that was so cool. And then when they start mixing it up,
Yeah.
and they mix it up in a way that I thought was very understandable.
Yeah. And it
I don't
wasn't
feel that way
too
about some of
difficult
the other.
so that you couldn't like get
Yeah,
around it somehow.
yeah, that's cool.
Like the challenge wasn't too daunting that you just looked at
Right,
it, didn't even want to try it.
because it's the same idea as all the other places, which is here are simple concepts that we're just gonna make more difficult
Yeah.
to. The concepts themselves never change. It's always just the way it's
Yeah.
put in there.
Like the bamboo forest, for example. That one has a good one where you're sitting at these panels and then a bird is singing and
Right.
there's like three tones or whatever. And so you do the first one and it's like, oh, okay, it goes up, and then it goes up, middle, down or whatever. And
Hmm.
then eventually you make it so that there's speakers that are bleeding other noises into you so you can't hear the bird.
That's such a cool. Yeah,
And then,
it's just like somebody's cell phone going off in the
yep,
middle and you're trying to. Yeah, it's really
that
good.
really scared me at first. I was really startled. But then after that, then you get to one where there's like an ape making a noise or something
Yeah.
at the same time that the bird is.
Oh, and the loon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Is that what it
awesome.
is, the loon?
Yeah, it's like it's got the because even on the puzzle, it's got like
Yeah.
the long thing you got to do, and it's like, what does that mean? And then the loon pops up. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. So like
Nice.
at first you're listening to the bird and then the loon is on top of the bird, so you think it's just distracting you, but then you need
Right.
to put two and two together and be like, "Oh, okay, I can only put the loon song onto this puzzle."
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It
How it
is.
plays like multiple tracks, and you kind of have to just like
Yeah.
this one. I guess is the one I need to.
Which puzzles did you find the most like entertaining? Did you like the ones most that had the symbols, the ones that involved the environment more, like with the shadows or like looking around and like observing your surroundings in order to put the solution together?
Um, I think that's a good question. I really like. I feel like there were. Let's say, okay, there's a class of mazes
Mhm.
throughout the entire game where it's like here are three Tetris pieces and some black and white pieces.
Yeah.
And I think some of those were really, really good
Okay.
where you could like puzzle it out and you would come to a solution. And
Yeah.
I feel like some of those were just like busy work where it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, I tried this and it didn't work and they flashed red, so I had to do something else. And then it's like,
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to talk about the end of the game quite yet,
Okay.
but the floor puzzle
Mm-hmm.
after you do most of that area where there's four puzzles,
Yeah.
I thought that was dumb
Yeah.
because I did it the wrong way,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized I had to do it the other way,
Yeah, that
and then
was
you could
pretty
do it.
dumb. Yeah, how
Yeah,
you could solve one part, but you couldn't solve the whole thing.
yeah.
That was a little silly.
I don't get what the point of that was. That was like,
Yeah,
that was,
me neither.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
anyways, what's next? You want to talk about the collectible things?
well, hold on.
Okay.
I guess we could, yeah.
Well, what
I
do you want
wanted
to
to
talk
say
about first?
the here is a puzzle, and then you have to like shine the sun onto it so you can see where.
Oh, yeah, those ones. Yeah.
That was cool.
Those ones were pretty cool. Yeah. That was
Until you
like
went,
the environment type deal.
yeah, but then you like that was a cool idea, and then I thought it was really cool when you go in and you have to like turn the light to a different
Yeah.
light. Have you? I don't want to talk about an area you haven't done. So if I start like rambling
No,
on
I've
about something,
done, I think, all of them.
okay,
So I did do that one.
okay. So I thought that was cool, but then you get to the part where there's like water going up and down,
Yep.
and that was just really tedious
Yeah.
for me, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because you have to raise the water and it goes up nice and slowly, and sometimes there's only a
Yeah.
very small window of opportunity for you to
Yeah.
see the reflection in
I
order to
didn't
see the smudges.
I didn't feel like I was like being smart during that. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, I gotta
Yeah,
check my
hurry up, look
watch.
at it, write it down.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yep. Take a picture with yourself.
Yeah, a little counterintuitive to
Yeah.
the whole puzzle mechanic.
Yeah. And then there's the town, which I barely touched because it was very difficult.
Yep, I barely touched the town. Also, those puzzles are those are doozies. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's weird that they kind of put that right in the middle of the play area.
Yeah, but
I
there's
guess
the
to
windmill.
kind of. Yeah, dude, the windmill.
Windmill's pretty legit. So, how many of the windmill puzzle things did you find?
I
Do
found.
you want to explain what the windmill is?
Sure.
What's in the windmill?
Okay. So there's this windmill, and you can like turn it on and off, and that's like that's weird. That's kind of odd. And then you go down below the windmill, and I think you have to like solve some puzzles, right? To
I
get
think so. Yeah,
into-
there's a couple there.
Yeah. And then you get in, and there's like this theater basically, or it's like a room with a screen and like speakers hanging from the ceiling.
Yep.
And it looks like a high end like living room basically with no furniture.
Yeah.
And there's this like a honeycomb, like hexagons.
Hmm.
And it's got all these little spokes coming off of it, and it looks really intimidating. And then you've got like some screens.
Yeah.
And what you do is you go to other areas of the island just as you're kind of exploring, and there's like these little secret areas, and there's like these boxes.
Hmm.
And you open up the box, and there's like a key, but not like a key, it's like an image of how you would solve that puzzle.
Yep.
So you can solve it in different ways. And each time you do that, there's like I only actually watched the first one I did, but you go and you put that in, and all of a sudden the screen is like showing you this like full motion video, like YouTube video of like this like lady talking about self-help mumbo jumbo, and it was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was just like,
Your first one was a lady.
yeah.
I only got
Is it
one.
like other people?
Yeah, I only got one, and it was a dude, and he was talking about like self-help philosophy mumbo
Yeah.
jumbo. He was talking
It's
about
just-
like really abstract finding yourself. You must first find yourself before
It's
you
so
find
weird.
yourself.
Because like the game is this like really, like it's got like kind of a cartoony look to it.
Yeah,
It looks fantastic, but it's got like this very, and to all of a sudden just have like this kind of grainy, kind of pixelated, just like YouTube video showing up on this screen in the middle of nowhere. It's just like
Of, like,
I
real
can't
people.
handle it. It was really weird.
it was really weird. That also startled the crap out of me when
Yeah.
I found the first puzzle, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet, I'm gonna put this in." And then I end, and then the song comes on, and I start freaking
Yeah.
out. I
Right.
like jump, and then I look up at the screen. I'm like, "Oh, it's just some old dude."
It's just some old dude.
It was really weird. Did you notice anything about the different windmill speeds?
No.
'Cause I didn't either. I didn't know
Oh.
what the point of that was.
Well, I know there's like the 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 arms, I guess, have you can like oh so that's another thing.
Oh, the
So-
environmental
Yes.
secrets.
Which I think is amazing.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Because you get so trained to look for these patterns which is basically a circle with a line coming out of it,
Yep.
that you just start seeing it everywhere. And they kind of built the game around that so that you're rewarded in some way for
For seeing
just
that.
seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
It is really cool, yeah. Because then you get little sparklies that come out. The
Yeah.
first time you do it, it's like, and then you're like, oh, geez, what's happening? What did I do? Did I break something?
And you kind of did.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's, like, these black obelisks that
Yeah.
hum at you.
Yeah, the first time I walked to one, I was like, what the heck are these?
Yeah.
Like,
And you know it's something messed up, and it was.
Yeah. And they show a ton of those secret ones that you can find, so there must be a
Right.
lot of those.
Yeah, I don't. Now, here's my question. I went back and forth on this. Is each obelisk full of individual puzzles, or is it like as
Yeah,
you do them,
I
each
think it is, yeah.
facet of?
Because I solved like three of them, and
Yeah.
I went to an obelisk, and each one that I looked at after I solved the puzzle only had one lit up.
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah,
I'm not positive. Maybe I'm wrong.
sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite. Well, first of all, the clouds I thought was awesome. When you get the laser and you have to point it at the. There's like one dark cloud on the
Yeah.
island.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Because you see in the clouds even
Yeah.
there's one of these things, and you try to do it, but it hits the dark cloud, and
Yeah.
you're like, come on, dark cloud. And it was really awesome to show that.
Too
Dark
bad there
cloud
wasn't a
was boss.
second Dark Cloud to honor
I know.
Dark Cloud 2.
Oh, Dark Chronicle.
There you go.
You're up. But my favorite, maybe one of my favorite environmental ones of those was you go through this hedge maze.
Yeah.
And it like creates a path as you walk on it, so you were like in the maze, which I think is a really cool concept
Yeah.
on its own. But then you get to the top of the tower, and
Yeah.
you look down, and you realize that you made your own like environmental puzzle, and
Yep.
you can do it. It's really cool
Yep.
because you like highlight the big thing where you stood, and that's like the start of the puzzle, and
Mhm.
it just feels awesome.
Yeah. I remember that. I got up to there and I'm like, oh crap, I'm doing this tomorrow. When there's light and a pen and a pencil.
Yep. Yep.
Or paper and pencil. Or paper and pen.
Or
Or both
yeah,
at the same time.
what was your tool? What was your
What I
toolkit
used a
here?
lot was I would take a picture of a puzzle with my phone, and then I would take a line and then like trace over possibilities, or like put a line segment at certain
Yeah.
areas that I knew I would have to be, or
Right.
that the line would have to go through.
Sure.
Sometimes that didn't help. Sometimes it just hurt me because the ways I thought I had to go, I didn't really have to go.
Yep.
But it also helped for reverse engineering by starting at the ending and then going
Okay.
backwards, because the game wouldn't
Okay.
really let you do that. So I would do that on
Right.
there. How about you?
Yeah.
What methods did you use?
I used my phone a lot.
Yeah.
And what I would do is, especially in the more difficult symmetry puzzles.
Mhm.
Oh, that's when I knew this game was evil. Was when you start doing the symmetry, and it's like, oh, that's got a weird texture on it, and then it's like,
Yeah.
starting to fade away on you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you have to know where both lines were going, and I was like, screw you.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of it, and I just put it in Photoshop, and
Yeah.
I would draw something, and then I would draw it the other way, and I would say, okay, that doesn't work, so I would erase it. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I did those, because
Okay. Yeah. I didn't really.
those are.
I didn't really have too big of a problem with those. Any of the symmetry ones. It's the ones where it faded out. I just kind of felt it out. You know, I was kind of
Yeah.
like, well, I could just go this way with this one, but I should probably go a less conventional way, because
Right.
that's probably where the beam's gonna go in order to
Right.
solve the thing.
Yup.
But yeah, the symmetry ones for me felt to be the easiest ones
Yeah.
when it wasn't fading out on you, just because
Yeah.
it felt like there were a lot fewer possibilities, because there were two lines at the same time
Right.
that were blocking off a lot of pathways.
Yeah.
So
I think that's kind of intended as one of the first.
yeah, and that
areas.
makes
Like,
sense.
If you went straight to the swamp or like the tree houses.
Oh,
and
you'd be
stuff,
screwed.
yeah, you'd just be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
what's
lumbered onto the swamp like the second time through, and I'm like, man, screw this.
Yeah,
I was so lost. I was so confused.
it's rough.
There was one of like the beginning tutorial puzzles I couldn't figure out. So I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out what the game was trying to tell me.
Was
So
it that you can combine them?
Yeah, it was that you
Yeah.
can combine them without putting a
Right.
line through them.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. How do you
Yeah.
want me to know that?
Right. That was rough. But I think the ones that are tilted,
Yeah.
I think that's conveyed pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least it was pretty easy to understand what they were
Yeah, that one
going
was
for.
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the swamp was just basically hell.
Yeah.
The swamp was bad.
I am not through the swamp yet.
No.
I'm about halfway.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, there's one part that's really awful that involves
Yeah.
like an elevator, and it's
Oh no.
bad. It's
Oh
bad,
no.
man.
Don't tell me
I
these
wish you
things.
luck.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, what
Did
ones
you
have you
mess around?
finished?
I did
You did the quarry?
Quarry.
Yep.
Yep. Dojo.
Okay. Dojo one
Um.
was pretty cool. I didn't figure that out at
Yeah.
first because there's like the potted or the plants, and then yeah,
That last puzzle is a bummer, dude.
yeah, the broken branch. The game likes
Yeah.
doing that, pulling a
Yeah.
broken
That
branch
was
on you. It did that in the
dumb.
shade one too, I think.
Yeah.
In the
No,
Oak
the
Forest.
apples.
It did that with the apples, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
the apples one didn't have a
No.
laser, so it was
But there's
just
an apple in another tree.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Over by the town.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
tree with an apple in it, and I don't know what it means. Actually, I was gonna ask you, um, right outside the town there is a symmetry puzzle that's just kind of sitting there. It's like a blue screen, and it's facing the kind of peninsula where it's the guy with the goblet is, and there's like five
Oh okay.
green trees. Did you mess around with that at
No,
all?
I
I
didn't.
can't
Did
figure
you?
out what it's
Did you?
trying to ask me to.
No. Well, I noticed there's a lot of like panels that seem like secret panels, and they're
Secret
they're
panels.
really easy to solve. There's like a triangle that's pointing in the
Yeah, yeah,
direction.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
never figured out what those were. Did you?
No, I didn't even figure out what the triangle is trying to
No, me neither. Trying to
convey to me.
convey, yeah. Because those
Um,
there was quite a few of those. I found like maybe five or six of them,
yeah,
but I never figured out what they were like. If they're like a collectible thing, find them all and solve them all because they didn't do anything when you solved them. So
that you're aware of,
yeah, yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah,
Like I, they could be doing anything.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing that the
Yeah.
game. It's. I don't blame Blow for wanting to charge $40 for this game. You could tell.
No, I don't think that's. I
Is it
think
forty
that's a
dollars or
very.
$50? It's $40.
It's 40.
Yeah,
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 I felt very satisfied with
yeah.
my
As far as bang for the
purchase.
buck, you're getting
Yeah,
value there, and is
right.
quality wise, definitely
True.
not a big deal at all.
Well, let's talk about these audio logs, Christian.
Okay, the audio logs.
This is why. Okay, I have a theory. I'm not gonna surface it here quite yet, but we'll talk
Okay,
about it. But I don't think the audio logs help this game at all.
all right. Where was the first one that you found? Was it the Albert
It
Einstein one?
was. There's like, aren't there like multiple?
There might be. Yeah.
There's a ton of like, what's his name? Uh, shoot. Well, whatever. The first one I found was in the very first area.
Yeah.
There's that tower, and it's like sitting right next to the tower. If you go up around the ramparts.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That's the first one I
Yeah.
found too, and it's kind of like sitting there on the like
Yeah. The
chiseled off
little.
part or whatever on the wall,
Yeah.
the top of
Yep.
the wall. Yeah, yeah, that's the first one that I found too. And that
It's
was
just.
kind of like the first time where it kind of helps realizing that you can interact with things that aren't puzzles.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good thing to have there.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. Sure.
Because at first you're just kind of like, oh, I can point at things that aren't puzzles. Okay.
Whoa. That's true. But all the audio logs are. They're just.
Quotes.
They're just. Yeah.
It's like reading
Like. Yeah.
top quotes from people.
It's like if
Inspirational
you.
quotes or something. Some things
You
you
go
find
on
at the
your.
bottom of a motivational poster.
Yeah, like if you go on your Facebook and you find your most liberal college friend and you just go on their Facebook and it's like, oh, yeah, time is an illusion.
Yep.
7 comes before 8. And it's like, oh. And it's all read very like, wow, I cannot believe that space time is blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's very earnest and like
Yep.
not
A
fun
couple
to
of them
listen
are
to.
so long, and then
I
some
know,
of them
they
are
just
just
keep going
short.
on.
But some
It's
of
like
them just keep
space.
going and going, and they like fold in on themselves, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. The one I really, really liked was at the very end of the game when he talks about Zen
Yeah.
and how it's based around these moments where your logic kind of like jumps
Yeah.
and you look at something and it's so like part of what that game is that I thought it was really that was a good one for me because I felt like it was
Yeah, totally.
appropriate.
Yeah. But then there's other ones that just like there's the one where there's the puzzles where you're supposed to realize that Um, the ones with the transparent panels, and then you line up your mazer thing with the how big the trees are or how big the rocks are. You like avoid the rocks. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's right next to the symmetry one. I think it is the symmetry one.
I don't know that I do know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
you don't know that one? Okay, there was one there that just started talking about God for some reason. I don't understand
Sure.
why. And then there was the swamp one. There was one where he started talking about water and then relating it to wine. And then I was like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay, it's a swamp. There's water, I guess. Do you want to put this quote here? Sure.
Sure, dude.
But yeah,
Gotta.
some of them, lots of them, are not that resonant with what's actually going on.
I just wish John Blow had read them. It just feels well. It just feels really weird to have just like
Yeah.
faceless like I'm a lady talking about.
Lady X, hey, this is Dude Y again.
Yeah, exactly. Like vaguely Canadian voice actor number 7.
Yeah.
This is the blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like okay, whatever.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
Yeah.
And like the quotes don't seem to really have any consistency. There's really just kind of random people. There's like
Well, I
people
think
from like the 600s are
yeah,
getting
I think
quoted.
that's what makes it feel so fake, is it doesn't feel like there's like a through line on any of it.
Yeah.
It just feels like stuff that makes it sound smart,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it doesn't.
And this is something that I thought Braid did a lot better with its books and
Yeah.
how like it kind of like the books either it made you think that they were telling the story of the guy or they were you found out later that they were telling his story while also having like a commentary on something or else they were at a very base level interesting and they
Yeah.
weren't like obnoxiously long where it just
Right.
became background noise or whatever.
Right. I thought so. This is my theory that I
Yeah.
was talking about. I think Braid is a much better game than The
Okay.
Witness
Yeah.
is. And that's part of it. I thought the books in Braid were kind of well written
Yeah,
for what
totally.
they
Yeah.
were.
And even
They
even when I didn't know what they were relating to,
yeah.
they I could like relate to them on a personal level and I thought they were really interesting, you know?
Right. And I think people looked at that stuff and they said, "Oh, this is a pretentious game."
Yeah, yeah.
But I think if you compare that to what The Witness does, The Witness is like so much more pretentious because it's not using that stuff in a way that actually shows you that the people who made the game are smart.
Yeah.
I think the game itself does that
Hmm.
in a way.
Yeah.
In some ways it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think what Braid did so much better was it created a puzzle game that made you feel smart in kind of the same way that The Witness does, but it did so within the context of a video game. Whereas The Witness is kind of. I don't think they.
Are you trying to like talk about a playable experience kind of thing?
No, because I don't want to say that The Witness isn't a video game because I think
Yeah.
that's a dumb way to look at things.
Yeah.
But The Witness. It benefits from being a video game, but the video game part of it doesn't aid the
Yeah.
main thing you do in it at
Yeah.
all.
And then you get to the whole gosh dang it, what's that thing called? Oh, luonarrative dissonance? Is that what it's called?
John Blow, when did you get here?
Yeah.
Take that GoPro off, John Blow.
I feel like that's a hard thing to tackle though, because some
Yeah.
people you could just throw ludonarrative dissonance at
Stop
anything.
saying that.
Is that how do you say that?
I don't know what you're saying.
Isn't that like a disconnect between like gameplay and story?
Oh, I don't know. I've never. This is new to me.
Okay. I think that's what it means. It's basically like the gameplay and story aren't complementary or they have nothing to do with each other kind of
Yeah.
thing. Where it's just kind of like jarring when you're like sitting there playing the game and then when the story happens, it's like, whoa, what's happening?
Right.
I think
But
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, The Witness, I did. That's mostly because of the audio logs for me.
Yeah.
Because I think the island itself
Yeah.
and the statues, which the statues I go back and forth on. Some of them are kind of weird. It's like Secret Service man
Yeah.
with like a one of those like Soul Calibur swords. I don't know what they're called. The little 3-pronged. Anyway,
Yeah.
I felt like there's a story in The Witness which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that story just by playing it by exploring this island, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's something that Braid doesn't do at all.
Yeah.
But I think Braid's messages and story and all that stuff is so much more well realized.
Yeah, I could
And
definitely agree with you there. Yeah,
I think The Witness, you can say like, well, you just haven't seen it all yet.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of dumb because I beat the game
yeah,
and I don't feel like I learned anything really.
yeah. The
I
ending
learned
was
how to solve.
a little lackluster. Well,
Can we talk about the ending?
if you want to go there now, sure, because it's
Okay.
probably going to be a one-way street.
Yeah. Um. Well, there's things about the ending I love, and there's things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Do you want to take it? Do you want to describe this last area because it's pretty
Do you want
awesome
me to?
in some ways? Go
Okay.
for it.
Well, you need to solve, quote unquote, solve certain areas by like doing all the required puzzles. And once you get
True.
like finish like five of those areas, is it? Six?
7,
Seven? Okay. Then it
I think.
opens up
Yeah.
like these flaps on this box that let you open the box. And then a puzzle appears on the top of the mountain
Oh, that
that's on the
puzzle
box. That
sucks.
puzzle sucks so bad.
That's a really bad.
There's people standing on top of the puzzle, and you need to see you the puzzle doesn't let you complete parts that you can't see, so you
Yeah.
need to drag the line, and then you need to walk along infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
You need
And
to
then you're like,
find the right place to stand, and then on
you're
top
off
of
by
that,
half a
I
step.
I solved the first one, and I was so freaking happy because it took me like 30 minutes, and then I
Yeah.
find out there's two more you have to solve. And so you have to
That's
stand at infinite more angles and start at infinite more. There's like three starting points and like three
Yeah.
end points.
that's really dumb.
It's just such a frustrating puzzle because I was like so
Yeah.
excited to get into the end and just like delve into it. But yeah, so that was a huge roadblock. And then
Yep.
anyway, it opens up the mountain. You go down these stairs and you're like, whoa, there's like TVs everywhere and stuff like that. And they're like cameras on all the places that you've been and stuff like that. And
Which is cool.
yeah,
I thought that was cool.
yeah, it felt really Portal to me. That whole
Yes.
part felt more
Definitely.
like
It felt like the what's that guy's name? The rat?
yeah,
Man?
Ratman-esque.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Very.
And so you're descending down, and then you get to this place, and then you come to this puzzle, and then the puzzle ends up drawing this path that you need to walk along in order to solve a bunch of other puzzles.
Yep.
And then yeah,
Just
do you want to talk
bonkers
about those
puzzles.
puzzles?
They are awesome.
They're
and
awesome?
stupid.
You like those ones?
Yeah, dude. So it's like, oh, this is a pretty simple puzzle.
Yeah.
Is this the end of the game?
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait a second, the end's on the bottom, and then you kind of like, okay, the monitor is probably out of alignment.
Yeah.
And then as you go along, it just starts going crazier and crazier, and all of a sudden, like when you take a right on the maze, all of a sudden the screen just starts turning right really quickly,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh.
Yep. Yep.
It was awesome. And then on the other side, it's like we're gonna start flashing like black and white colors, and you have to like look at black and white symbols. So it's just like this epilepsy thing happening.
Yeah, it
I
gets
thought that was
worse
pretty
though. It definitely.
Yeah.
Did you do the bunker with all the colors? Is that one
Yeah,
of
I-
the ones you finished?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Oh, awesome. How did you like that
Yes.
one?
Really good up until
Elevator?
yes.
How are you?
Because
This is something that I don't know. How are you supposed to know how to get to the top floor of the elevator? How are you supposed to figure that out?
well, you can brute force it.
Yeah, I think that's what I did.
Yeah. What I did, I think it was a combination of brute forcing, and I had this really convoluted scheme. And I don't know if this was what you were supposed to do, but I would go to each room
Yeah,
and I would say, "Here's the colors this could be."
yeah, yeah. That's
and
what
here's
I was
the colors
thinking.
that it is.
That's
and
what
then
I was
kind of
thinking.
went
Yeah,
through that. Yeah.
because I was
And
gonna
you
be like,
kinda-
I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
back later when I have time to sit down and write what every color is going to translate to in with another filter on it. And
Yeah.
then I was like, I'll just guess once, and then it ended up being right.
Right. But it was kind of cool because in order to do that research, you kind of have to, like, there's a blue door.
Yeah.
And you have to find a way to make that green or whatever. So you have to go, like, find, the glass to look through. There were cool parts in that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a one note area. It's kind of like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it doesn't really come up again at all or anything like that, except for at the ending.
yeah. Well, I just mean it's like, okay, the colors are going to be different, and you just kind of have to group them together. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that comes up at the end again, and they start
Yep.
flashing different colors at you, and you have to
Yeah,
figure out
and
which
it's just
colors are which. And
oh,
this
the
is the part.
rainbow.
This is the part where my head started hurting,
Yeah.
and then my stomach started hurting, and then I
Yeah.
felt like I was going to throw up. So
Okay.
I had to lay down and go to sleep
Nice.
because it was
John
it was
Paul, you
hurting.
genius.
It was hurting
Yeah.
very bad. There's lots
Are
of
you talking
flashing
about?
lights. There's lots of like blurring. It just
Yeah,
hurts so
yeah.
bad.
It's hard to look at.
It is, and you have to like stare at it all the time because you have to wait for the
Yeah.
one right color to flash so you can tell which colors are which
Right.
colors. And oh my
It's kind of a
gosh,
bummer.
some of those puzzles are just sadistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, the
But
ending
it's the end
area,
of the
huh?
game. Yeah. I thought the so first off, I thought the thing where you solve those two puzzles. This is before what we were just talking about,
Yeah,
but there's puzzles in the tower that you kind of have to like look at. They're kind of like sitting in this pile of rubble, so you
yeah,
kind of have to like get
yeah.
a
There's the
good
big
look at
pile
them.
of rubble that has the monitors in it, and
There's
there's
a
like,
dude in
yeah,
there.
there's a dude in there too.
Dude,
He's
okay,
grabbing
Christian,
up at something.
did you find the dog?
No, there's a dog.
There's a dog, and it was the scariest part of that entire game because I'm just wandering around, and all of a sudden there's like a dog,
Really?
and it freaked me out.
Like a
Yeah,
frozen dog?
like a statue dog,
Okay,
like
good.
everybody else,
Yeah.
but like a dog. And all you see is his like head sticking out of the forest, and it's like, ah!
Oh,
It was
really?
really
Was
weird.
that in the bamboo forest?
No, it was is right by where you start out.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
If you just kind of explore that area, there's a little path, and then there's a dog, and it was really scary.
Okay.
But
Do you
anyway,
think
and
that's
then
related to the guy in the that's
I
frozen
don't
in the
know,
thing?
I don't know.
He's grabbing up at something that we don't know what.
Yeah, the statues are weird.
Yeah, they are. The one that I thought was cool was the guy like grabbing up towards the goblet,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you look at the shadow, it looks like he's holding up the
Right.
goblet. And I was
Right.
like,
Right.
ah,
I really liked the there's the girl on the like the cage and she's reaching down.
yeah,
And then if you line it up right, it's like she's reaching towards this giant statue of a woman in the background.
yeah. It is
That's
really
cool.
it is really cool, but like as far
What does
as
it
like
mean?
when you finish the game, it doesn't tell you what they are, who they are, what's going
No.
on. It's really still open to interpretation because art.
Speaking of which, okay, so you're in the mountain
Yep.
and you do the thing. And actually I thought the puzzle where you need to make two paths,
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Okay, yeah. How you have
Once
to
I
kind of like have to
realized
go back and forth a couple times.
Yeah, I was really frustrated with it at first
Mm.
because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to make two paths this way.
Yeah.
But then once you realize that you kind of have to like play against yourself,
Mhm.
kind of like wrap around. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then there's the stupid floor puzzles, and then there's the pillar puzzles, which were kind of cool
Yeah, the pillar puzzles.
because you can like speed around and you go. Pshoo!
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, the pillar puzzles weren't too difficult. It was just kind of knowing where you were. Because they like
Right.
wrapped around the whole pillar. There's
Well, I was just
63
impatient at that point
puzzles.
too,
Oh yeah.
because it's like, okay, the end of the game is right here, and I just want to solve these stupid puzzles. Like I get these stupid black dots, and there's
Yep.
1,000 of them.
Yep.
Okay, and then you go into this like Willy Wonka elevator.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. Willy Wonka elevator.
It's like, and it's kind of cool because you're like opening the door by doing like the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
But then, Christian, why don't you describe this sequence to me, and I will
Well,
see if it matches
see,
up with my.
yeah,
experience.
I don't know if because you go in the flying elevator, you shut the
Yeah.
doors, and then it starts floating up, and
Yeah,
then
there's like bubbles in a stream. Bubbles in a
oh, okay,
stream,
so it is
bubbles in a
see
stream.
this is what I wasn't sure about if it played the same audio or if
Yeah.
it was like if it depended upon what like secrets you found or what puzzles you solved or something like that. But yeah, it
Right.
started out with like bubbles in a stream and it shows you the stream,
Bubbles in a stream.
and then it's like a dark cloud in the sky or something,
Dark cloud in the sky.
and then star in the north sky or something.
Sure. And while you're doing this, you're like flying.
Yeah,
through the
you're like
whole
flying through
island.
like all the areas. It's kind of like,
And, like,
a curtain
the
call
elevator-
for all the environments.
The elevator disappears at some point. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of like,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
like
no clipping your way
Yeah.
through this entire
Yeah.
island.
yeah, as soon as the elevator goes away, then like all semblances of like places you
Yeah.
can fit into goes away.
But as you're, sorry, continue. I want to.
Okay.
Hear your
Well,
reaction
I
to
don't
this
I don't
whole-
really have much else to say. You just fly around, you see all that you did, and then you start going back to the beginning area, and then you go back in the tunnel where you started, and new game start.
Yeah. So as you're flying through, you're seeing all your puzzles get
Oh
unsolved.
yeah, that's right. Yep.
You're seeing like the door of the windmill go.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like, John Blow, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be some crazy new game plus. It's going to be like totally different puzzles. Nope. It just drops you right where you were and it said, hey,
Have fun
Welcome to
doing the
the
same
witness.
puzzles again. See how many
Like-
times you can beat it.
I think that's awesome in a way because it's like, only in the context of this game could you do something like that and have it be that mean
Yeah,
to the player,
yeah,
where it's just like, oh my
yeah. I
god.
know because the game's huge and you spend so much time just on one puzzle. You spend
Yeah,
hours on a single puzzle and you end up solving hundreds of the things.
yeah,
And then he's just sitting there unsolving them all. It's just like, man,
yeah,
it's just like, it's
yeah.
it's nice to just look at all the puzzles you solved and be like, yeah, I did that, you know?
Right.
And then he's just sitting there, nope, 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 nope.
So maybe that is something, maybe that's the point.
Yeah,
And I just haven't done enough of it to
yeah,
get
it might
that.
be the point, yeah.
But
And like
what was I
when
gonna say?
undoing all the puzzles, I mean, the way he set up the game, playing it through a second time would be pretty interesting because the only
Yeah.
thing that's holding you back is your knowledge of how the puzzles work. So
Right.
you can, I mean,
You
there's
just
like a
go.
mandatory 7 areas, sure, but there's lots of optional tutorial puzzles and stuff like that you can just completely skip.
Right.
So a second playthrough would be exponentially shorter than your first playthrough.
So, but that's my question: is are you meant to say I want to go back in and get all the secrets?
Yeah.
Am I meant to do that from there, or am I meant to
Yeah.
load up my save
Yeah,
from
that's
before the end of the game
that is a good
and do it?
question because
Why would you
I
not
feel like
load
your
up your save?
secrets are reset as well. So
Right, and then they're not secrets anymore.
yeah,
If you already know,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah. I think the game creates a quick save right before you go to
It
the point of
does.
no return. So
It does.
it's kind of like,
Because before I started a new game, I uploaded that save
yeah,
to the PS4 cloud
gotcha.
because I didn't want to lose it.
Hmm.
So that save exists, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, you got to solve all the secret puzzles and solve all the black obelisks, and then you'll get it, right?
Oh, okay. Can we talk about the credits room?
Credits room, sure. Credits room was it was kind of like the ending that I wanted
Oh
the
my
game to
god,
be, but it really wasn't. You know,
I
like something really weird and out there and just kind of wacky, you know?
it was so good.
It was really awesome.
It was so good.
Like it's really well done too, how you're walking down this hall and then they must have like
It look
taken really good like 360 pictures of their office or something.
it
So
looks
like it
crazy.
does because like as you're walking, it looks like you're staring into the room and like walking past the room, which is really cool.
Right. I did. I've never seen something like that in a game that I can think of.
Yeah, it is really awesome.
Yeah.
And there's like credit logs.
Which is whatever. It's like
Yeah.
created by John Blow, modeled by, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but you go past that room, and then you wake up, and you're John Blow.
Yeah.
He's under like a sheet.
Yeah.
He takes it off. He's like my leg. And
Yeah,
then
he's
he,
got like an
wanders
IV in
around.
him and he rips it
Oh my
out.
god, it's so good. And he's totally doing what that game teaches you to do, which is to see like the little puzzles everywhere.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can
because he
tell
like
it's
starts
just
like poking at things and he starts banging spoons and stuff.
what was that? And he like takes out the cracker and he's like, I don't want this cracker.
Yeah,
And
he like
throws
takes
it in.
one bite out of it. I'm like, aren't you hungry? And he takes
Blow.
one bite out of it and puts it down.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is pretty cool. And then he just lays down and then Finn.
Yep. He goes outside
Yeah.
and
Shows off
touches
his garden for all the people who get
that's
that
a
far in the
sick
game.
garden.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
I like John Blow's house.
Yeah. He's got like a meditation mat set out, you
Yeah.
know.
I like how he's got like mazes framed on all the walls.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it was pretty awesome. It was kind of like what I wish the game ending would have been like, because I wanted it to be something crazy and out there, but it was, I mean, there was like screens and stuff, but that was kind of it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I read an interview with one of the people who worked on this game,
Okay.
and it was an architect who was consulted on it.
Okay. An architect consultant. Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense if you look at that game because it feels so much like a place that was actually built.
Yeah. Built by people or something. Yeah.
Right. And what he talks about is this entire history of this island, which you can tell was part of the design process because he speaks about it in certain terms.
Okay.
So, like, Civilization 1 happened, and that's where the quarry comes from.
Okay.
But not like the the lumber mill, that's Civilization 3.
Okay.
So there's this implied history of this island,
Yeah.
which you don't get any of playing the game.
Yeah.
But it leads me to believe that there's either, okay, this can go either one of two ways. Either there's a bunch of secrets in this game and all they are secret puzzles and it doesn't actually lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Or, I guess that's the only option. Is
Well, is that what you would want? Is secret puzzles that go nowhere? Or would you rather
No,
have like a satisfying, like, solve all the secrets and then you find something that makes a bunch of things fit together?
I just don't see. I feel like the way they've set up this game is it can either end as there's a history to the island and there's a reason why these statues all exist and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that would be interesting to me. I don't know what they would come up with, but I don't know if that would be
Yeah.
like I don't like I can't think of what an interesting
Explanation behind it all
right.
would be.
Or it's this like personal tale and this is all symbolic and it represents something. And I don't think
Okay.
that's that interesting either.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't
just
know
leave
if
it unsolved and call it good.
I guess I don't know.
So like the only point of it would just be kind of moment to moment, like looking at the statues, being like, oh, "Okay, this is cool. Oh, okay, this clown juggling is cool,"
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, they set this all up and then
Yeah,
they don't do anything with it.
yeah,
And it's just the only reason it's interesting to me is because it's so odd.
yeah,
There's like a guy playing a guitar and it's just like the statue and then like 5 feet from him is like this king sitting on a throne
yeah.
and there's like secret service men and all this stuff going on
Hmm.
and it's implied like it's right there. There's a reason why this is all here, but it's never.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of people, like a lot of the Frozen ones, especially at the end, you get the statues with the little girl and the mother or something like that,
Yeah,
and they're like pointing up towards something, and you get
right,
like a lot of the statues you walk by is like people staring up at like a certain point.
right.
So there's probably something that froze them all that we don't know about.
Yeah, and there's cool, just like stumbling upon statues in the environment is cool
Yeah.
because you kind of make your own little stories about it. Like there's a guy like under the covers inside the mountain who's
Oh yeah.
like a little yeah.
Yeah.
And you come in. I really like the little workshops where somebody was like building the buildings
Yeah, that was pretty
of
cool.
the
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I don't know. If the story had been awesome in this game would have been incredible.
Yeah, totally.
But I feel like
Yeah, this game
I
was so close to being like as close to perfect as you can get.
except for the quarry. Stupid.
The Corey.
Yeah. Jesus.
Lots of the audio logs could have been better. Tighten those up, John. Tighten those
I
up.
just I didn't come away from this game like this is totally my fault, but I thought this game was going to be like a new step.
Okay,
And
what do you
it's
what do you
totally
mean by
not.
new step?
Cuz I thought Braid kind of like I love Braid more than most people.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I look at you say John Blow has been working on this game for like 8 years or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought it was going to be like this next evolution of this genre.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's totally another one of these. It's really good, but
Yeah.
it's like another one of these games.
Okay, yeah. So it's not. Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. How it's not like a step forward. It's more of a side step kind of thing.
Like what?
It's like a
I
half
was-
step forward and then a
Yeah.
side step.
I was thinking of this, how to word this. Like all the unexpected stuff this game does, you totally expect.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of like a good example.
Okay.
Like the bird song stuff.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected, but it totally like. It's not like this is crazy. It's like, oh, of course
Yeah.
you do the thing with the birds, and
Yeah.
it's like. That's so unfair to John Blow to just be like, dude, you're totally cool game. It's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the same thing happened to me in the bunker where you solve all these color puzzles and then you come to this color puzzle and I solve it and then I come to the next one and I'm like, okay, I know this can't just be the same thing again. So I sit there and try and solve it for a little bit and I'm like, okay, it's impossible. And then there's
Yeah.
a color filter and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. And then the
Yeah.
next one I'm like, okay, it can't be the same color filter again. Why would he do
Right.
that? So I need to use two color filters and then I solve
Right.
it, kind of thing.
Like each individual puzzle is awesome. I just don't feel like there needed to be something more to it. I think
something
I don't
more
know.
to it.
Yeah, I just felt like I was kind of doing the same thing when I started the game that I was doing at the end of the game. It's
Mhm.
just more complex, which I guess is every video game ever. So there you go. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry, John Blow.
there were lots of times where there was one treehouse level, or
Oh,
when
don't
you're
even
at the
talk to me
treehouse.
about
Did
the
you do that
tree
one?
houses. I tried,
You
man.
tried? Okay, I got to the last panel of one of the bridges,
Yeah,
and so I just sat there and stared at it, and I'm like, there's like two symbols
yeah,
and two different kinds of symbols. There's lots of
yeah.
symbols, but two different types. And I just sat there
Right.
looking at it, and I just said to myself, there is so much going on in this maze right now, just with these two symbols. It's just blowing my mind how much I
Right.
need to juggle. And
Right.
I know where to go, or I know
Right.
when I get to the end, I know if it's wrong or not. I just don't know how to get to the solution.
Yeah.
But I found out that you didn't need to solve the last panel of the
Nice.
bridge for activating the lasers. So
Yeah,
I never
that's
solved that
what.
puzzle.
That's why I didn't do that area because I was just like, "Hey, this path I'm on, this is just to open up a bridge so you can get here quicker." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Screw this.
yeah,
This is
that's right. Yeah,
stupid."
and you open the door, get there quicker, open the
Yeah.
thing, activate the laser.
Yeah.
Activating the lasers is really satisfying though. Like
Yeah.
watching them like slowly go up and then turn and then
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
And when they get all sparkly.
Oh yeah, so many
Did you?
smiles.
We're starting to wrap up here, but there is an area right by the dojo where you go down a path and there's like a door to a cave.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And you kind of look through branches to solve it.
Yep. Yep.
I wish the game had more of that because that was just a little area I stumbled onto,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "This is so cool! Like, this is I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
This is like, because I think it kind of hurts the game that it's so. This is the area where you do this puzzle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Like
okay, I
really
did all these
video
puzzles.
game conventional type thing.
Yeah, well, it's just like,
Like here, you're in this biome. You need to solve these puzzles in a row, and then you get
yeah,
to the laser, and then you swipe down, and then you get the laser.
yeah,
And then there was one where you had to deflect it off a mirror for some reason.
that was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. None of the other
That
ones
was
did
cool.
it, but yeah.
No, 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 no. I hate how slow those lasers come out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been negative lately.
So, do you
This is
think
a
it's
really,
better
really good
or
game.
worse than Tony Hawk 3?
Oh,
This is what you set yourself up for, just comparing
yeah.
completely different games that are
I
great in completely different ways.
I don't think it's as good as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Oh man, dude.
Okay, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is one of the best video games ever made. So
Yeah.
I
So
don't think The Witness is one of the
that's
best.
not going to nag at your conscience for a while.
I need to play more of this game,
Yeah.
and I'm going to. But
Until then,
I wasn't. I was only let down by this game because I thought it was going to be
because of your expectations.
just so good.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I enjoyed it as much as some people,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
which is true.
But I mean, he kind of set himself up for that. You know, he's been working for it
He did.
like 8 years. He's been
Yeah.
like painstakingly crafting every detail of this game. I'm sure.
Right. Well, it's weird because he sets himself up as this person who criticizes games for their game design.
Yeah.
Which is what I do in a very amateurish way.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with this game which is super cool,
Yeah.
but doesn't really
Yeah.
it kind of cheats because it doesn't utilize any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just maze puzzles.
Yeah.
And it's really good at doing that
Hmm.
and teaching you things that way, but it's not things that video games utilize.
Yeah.
Urgh, John Blow.
He was so close. We'll have to wait 9 years for his next game.
Okay. I'll play it.
Yeah. Totally, man. It'll probably be good.
Yeah.
Probably not perfect, but it'll be good. I'm sure.
It's gonna have stupid audio logs about Hitler or whatever. And it's just
Oh
gonna be
man.
like, whatever.
It's gonna be set in World War II, Russia,
Okay.
and
I'm with you so far.
there'll be doves or something.
Okay, you gotta do crossword puzzles.
There you go. Crossword
Yep.
puzzles on doves. Ship it, John. This idea is free. Take it.
And then at the end, it's like a mirror, and you have to do it backwards.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
You see, okay, what could he do after this? Do you think he would do another puzzle game?
Do you think Braid is a? I guess Braid is a puzzle game, right?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. Oh,
Do you think
Braid was
like
so much
John
better.
Blow's just like into puzzle games? Do you think that's his thing?
That's a good
Do you think
question,
he could do
Christian.
anything else?
That's a
Because I
really good
feel like
question.
just like an explorative storytelling kind of game would be really interesting.
I guess, but I don't. I think he's better at.
But his gameplay is really good.
Yeah, I
So
think he's better at. I wish he had taken all of the concepts in The Witness and applied it to something other than maze puzzles.
yeah. But the maze
Which
puzzles are really good.
they are, no, totally, but I don't. I'm not really into that kind of thing.
Okay. Really? So what
I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna sit here and say the only thing video games are supposed to be is fun, but towards the end of this game, when you're spending like 45 minutes staring at three Tetris pieces
yeah.
in a maze, it's like this isn't giving me anything.
Yeah.
It's just like I know I'm stupid.
Mhm.
I know there's a correct way to do this. Let me show you 800 wrong ways to do it,
Yeah.
and then you click, and it's like, oh,
Yeah. But to give the game credit, I mean it stayed entertaining for like 10 hours of doing mazes.
that's true. I played it for longer than that.
Yeah, yeah, but I
I
mean
probably
like it
spent
it
yeah
wasn't
25.
entertaining for that entire time, but
No, I think some of the best moments in the game for me were just kind of wandering around and stumbling onto cool environmental puzzles
yeah.
or just like did you explore the boat at all? Not the boat that you ride, but
Yeah,
like
like
the
the shipwreck.
crashed. Yeah.
I tried, but I didn't see anything around there. Can you get there or what's the deal with it?
You can I walked all over it, but I don't remember.
Oh, you were able to get on top of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I tried to cuz that was like the first time I played it.
yeah.
And then I tried to get back there and I couldn't figure out how I got onto the shipwreck.
So you had to
But
do you have to reload a save or something?
there's a pretty good audio log there, actually. Well,
Oh,
it's
is
not
it?
very good, but
Oh, okay.
it's by the standards of this game, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and solve all those secrets and see if there's a real humdinger of an ending.
Yeah, I would love. I don't know, Kristen. I don't know if there's gonna be a humdinger.
Probably
I would
not.
love to watch someone else play through this game who hasn't played it
I
before.
would feel well, I would like stopping in every once in a while. You know, I don't
Right,
want to sit there and watch them sit
right,
staring at a panel for 45 minutes.
right.
It would be really cool to see someone's like reactions to what's going on and like to
Yeah,
watch them try and solve some puzzles for a little bit
right,
and not watch them try and trial and error their
right.
way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, this was a really good game for me to grab somebody and be like, okay, check this out.
yeah,
What do you make of this?
yeah,
And most of the time when I did that, I would figure it out for whatever reason. I
mhm,
think it's just because you have like another perspective. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
Well, we talked about it for an hour, so I guess there's something to it. So
yeah. It's definitely really good. It's great.
I highly recommend it.
I would too. Where do you think you're gonna socket this sucker? Right below Tony Hawk?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the number two is?
No,
I
I
don't know
don't.
off
Do
the
you?
top of my head.
You don't know what your number two is?
It is, I think Rhythm Heaven Fever is number three.
Ooh.
Number two is Life is Strange, I think.
Oh, yep, yep. I think so.
I think this is better than Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though its ending was probably not as good as Life is Strange's ending.
Hey, lots of people don't like Life is Strange's ending. I happen to like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just so it's nothing and it's also super frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't even have an ending. The only ending is like, hey, we're gonna undo all your puzzles
Yeah.
and sit you right back where you started.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do them again.
You're gonna wait till they make YouTube walkthroughs so that you can find all the secrets and see the real ending.
That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Until
Let's
then.
be honest here. Yeah. Until then, thanks Christian for sitting in.
Yeah, no problem.
I would like to do this again in the future with other games.
Yeah,
if,
talking about this game is awesome. It's a
Yeah.
good game to talk about.
Yes. Okay. And then the socket logo comes up. It goes, and then the logo pops
It'll
up.
be the longest socket video yet. A whole metric hour.